This is Stephanie Diaz de Leon.
This is Miles Felix.
This is Beth Stacy.
This is Omar Wahid.
This is Camille Jackson.
And this is Rob Travel.
And it's 365 amplified in a new place with a new setup and a new order, Rob, because Omar's feelings got hurt. You forgot about him.
We're figuring out.
It wasn't that.
So you should know the Black Business Hub, where our office is now, has a new podcast studio.
It does, and it's great.
We are utilizing, which is fantastic. It's beautiful, but we're still trying to figure out how to get like 6 people in here and sharing microphones and stuff. But thanks for listening, everybody. We're going to have Myra McNair on shortly to talk about the Anisa Therapy's 10th anniversary and the launch of the Anisa's Foundation. So stay tuned for that. First, though, we're going to jump in a little bit and talk a little bit about the Democratic race for governor. And the reason we talk about it now is campaign finance reports.
Yes, they came out.
Dropped, which is like, so it's when every reporter has to stay up to like 11:30 because
just waiting, maybe sometimes midnight, 1 a.m. waiting for details.
Yeah, the deadline isn't 5 p.m.
No, it's midnight.
It's midnight, and they all wait until midnight.
Midnight, or is it 11:59?
It's probably 11:59
p.m. Yeah.
But yeah, it's they all wait till the very end.
Sure, because they want you all to first thing in the morning be ready to talk about them.
And they're kind of messy and procrastinating.
Yeah, well, and also they want to double check numbers, and
sure,
everyone should.
Yeah. So these reports that drop in the middle of July, cover the period from January 1st to June 30th.
Yes, and they also cover. So here's the thing: they do drop one in January too, right?
Yes,
which
Yep.
covers the previous
July 1st through December 31st of last year.
Yes. So,
and that'll become relevant in a minute.
It is going to be relevant. That's why I mentioned it, because I want to make sure people are staying with us. But let's just talk about, in general, what folks shared.
Yep. What we see is even the candidates who dropped out had to file these reports because they weren't dropped out yet.
Yes. They still have to show what they had money in their bank for this campaign.
So former WEDC CEO Missy Hughes raised... Now, this is just what they raised during this period. This isn't overall.
Total. Yeah.
But she raised about $150,000, and she has about $26,000 on hand as of June 30th.
Yep.
So when she dropped out in June and endorsed Sarah Rodriguez, she can donate that money to Sarah Rodriguez if she wants to. Joel Brennan raised about $666,000. And has about $360,000 in the bank. David Crowley, who also just dropped out, raised about $250,000 this year, and has about $315,000 in the bank. Francesca Hong had second best of this period at $709,000, which is a lot for a 6-month period, and has $410,000 on hand. Mandela Barnes led the way with $841,000 raised this year. And both of them have raised over $1 million total.
Yeah.
But Barnes only has $204,000 on hand.
Because he's been doing commercials.
He's been doing more advertising. He's been spending more, and Hog's been kind of keeping the powder dry and saving it for the end.
for something big, maybe, or waiting for the as we get closer to the primary.
Right, exactly.
Before you reveal the next one, I do want to make sure we share the other side. Tiffany.
Yeah. Well, let me finish the Kilderoy's.
Kilderoy's, yeah.
527,000 and has 406 on hand. But you're right. Tom Tiffany has reported raising $8.7 million.
Yep. January 1 through June 30th. Also claiming that he has 10,000 small dollar donors.
He has one real big dollar donor, though.
He does. And he didn't say the average of that, so I was like, "That's interesting." But and saying it's all from every county in Wisconsin, all 72 counties.
Okay.
But he also has what, like $3 million?
$3 million on hand.
Yeah.
He got an influx of $6 million from the Republican Party.
I was going to say, but finish the rest of the story, right?
So he's got $3 million. The most of any Democrat that has anything on hand is Francesca Hong with $410,000. Whoever the nominee is will get a similar influx from the DPW.
Because I was going to say, because Tom Tiffany is the only Republican running influx of money, so he looks way more viable than any Democrat. And it seems like all these folks that he mentions that from all 72 counties and 10,000 small donations all led up to this
$6 million, whatever,
which
$8
it
million.
didn't.
Right.
Yeah, right. So but absolutely though, he did get a lot of money from small donors, and he did get a lot of money from other donors too. But also, let's not forget that RNC money.
Exactly. And the last one that we want to mention on the Democrat side, and this is the one we're going to dig into a little bit.
Because it's a lot.
It's some issues. It's
some issues.
Sarah Rodriguez, the current lieutenant governor, as folks probably have heard, she's had some campaign finance problems this week. She was supposed,
and apparently the entire season. We just found out about it.
And we're also to believe that she just found out about it this week.
Y'all.
She last week, she was supposed to do this $1 million ad buy.
Yep.
The ads didn't go up, so she started asking questions. Turns out that her campaign manager has been doing something with the finances, and it's weird that the campaign manager is even involved in the finances.
Yeah, because you have a treasurer to do that.
Right. Yeah, your campaign manager is managing your messaging and your schedule and everything like that, usually.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she fired the campaign manager. They're trying to work out everything. And the long and short of it is that the Rodriguez campaign has much less money than Sarah Rodriguez thought it did.
Yep.
And what she said earlier this week is that I thought we had like close to $1 million in the bank. We only have $200,000. Interestingly.
However. They have now reported theirs at the very last minute. Look.
It was the last one in.
Every news story includes the timestamp that this came in.
Yep. Very last minute last night. They filed a report claiming $34,990 cash on hand.
Yeah.
That's not enough to run a campaign for a week.
No.
They say, because remember that report goes through June 30th. So they say they've raised another $200,000 since July 1st.
Yeah.
Which is possible.
Sure. Absolutely. I mean,
now, when I first saw that this morning, I thought, that can't be right.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked again. And then I looked at the previous report, which was the January report that you talked about.
Yeah.
And that's what really raised a red flag for me.
Yeah.
Because the end balance of the January report should match the beginning balance of the July report.
It should.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like your bank statement from February, the ending balance in your bank statement in February is the same as your beginning balance of your bank statement in March, right? And just to be sure, I looked at all the other campaign January and July reports, and the end balance in January is the same number down to the penny as the beginning balance in July. Except
which would be
Sarah Rodriguez, her January report said reported cash on hand of about $603,000. I should say that's the third amended report that was filed in January.
Yeah, because they amended it a few times.
The original report was like $534,000, then it became $603,000. The beginning cash balance of the July report, which should be that same number, was $29,000. So $570,000 is missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And after I emailed them about that, because I'm a fair journalist, I wanted to ask if there's a reasonable explanation. I also should say, at like 7 this morning, I was emailing political operatives that I know.
You were knocked on my door, like, what do you know about this?
I was like, do you know anybody who could help me with this?
I said, not if they're open or they're awake. It was like the people I know are in California right now. And so the folks that I know are on West Coast and they're busy with their stuff. I'm like, they're not, they actually probably would have been awake. That I thought, because I messaged them like, I was awake.
Yeah,
I was like,
those are the kind of people who are up. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you probably are awake. It's like, you're fine.
But I did reach out to some people I know and I asked, like, am I making something out of nothing?
Mm-hmm.
And none of the people I talked to, 3 or 4 different people who were like, no, there's no reasonable explanation for that.
Yeah.
It's like one person said, like, if there's maybe like a 1% difference in a presidential campaign where you're talking about $1 billion, you could figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
That big of a discrepancy doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
It is. Absolutely.
Another slightly unrelated problem, and Wispolitics was the first to do this, and I checked myself and verified this, that the January report has about $140,000 of phantom donations in it.
Yeah.
Meaning that like the same donation is booked twice on the same day.
Sometimes 3 times, though.
And a few times,
Sometimes
3 times.
Not a lot, but there was a few that were 3 times.
It was like the same person, same address, same amount, same day.
Yeah.
So if you take out all the duplicates, the income, the contributions is lower by $138,000.
Yeah.
That still doesn't come close to reconciling the $570,000 difference between the 2 reports.
Which is a significant difference. And here's the thing. I am sure many reporters were emailing that campaign all day with more or the same issues that they were finding and asking about, which if you are about to take on a rather large state budget and you all are not like double, triple check-in before you file an important report.
Well, yeah.
I have concerns.
Yes, there are concerns. On Thursday afternoon, after I emailed them, I'm sure tons of other people emailed them, they filed an amended report, which is allowed.
Absolutely.
And it looks like all they did to amend the report was change the beginning balance to match the previous ending balance.
So they didn't look at the rest of the discrepancies.
Nope. Because the disbursements and the contributions stayed the same, which meant then that the cash on hand, the current cash on hand, which they initially reported as $34,990, was suddenly $643,000.
Which isn't true.
Which can't be true.
Which isn't true. But word on the street is they're working to add another possible amendment.
That amended report has disappeared. From the campaign finance website.
Yeah.
And
but someone sent you a version of it.
I got a screenshot of it.
Yeah.
And some of the folks are saying that that they're going to
do
another amendment saying that the $34,990 was right, which means Sarah Rodriguez is trying to run the last month of a campaign with no campaign manager and only $35,000 in the bank headed into the general election.
Well, only reporting that after 4 times, y'all.
Right.
Like she doesn't actually know.
Right. This is if everything is right.
Yeah.
That's a rough spot to be in.
Yeah, it's a rough spot to be in. Absolutely.
But we have no reason to believe that that's right.
No. Shepherd Express endorsement.
I know. I saw that. We should say
yeah. So anybody sort of endorsing her today or yesterday?
Yeah, it's questionable. Yeah, I mean, I don't think David Crowley and Missy Hughes both dropped out and endorsed Sarah Rodriguez.
But last week
or the week before this came out.
Yeah, before this came out.
And I don't know where their stand is. Shepherd Express
just today endorsed her, which and
enthusiastically
in the headline enthusiastically. I'm like, did they not see or look at her report? Like this is I get.
Yeah.
I know she's from in Milwaukee. I know she's from Milwaukee.
Well, she's from Brookfield, which is I think important because the fact that Missy Hughes and David Crowley both endorsed her makes me think
Milwaukee and Brookfield is where she's from.
Right. Well, she's born in Milwaukee, grew up in Brookfield.
Yeah. She's from where she's from. I grew up in Cedro. I still say San Diego, though.
Right.
Because it's the larger city around it. So, be careful. I'm from Cedro. I'm from Cedro, but
I know, but the reason it's important, I think, is that it seems to me, the way the endorsements lined up, the way she announced the same day Tony Evers said he wasn't going to run again.
Yeah.
She was trying to clear the field or whatever.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why they were so excited by these numbers that they shared.
Right.
And look, they were using those numbers in January was to potentially call out and clear the field. Her push to do all these things is an attempt to clear the field, taking on the language about the Republican Party endorsing Hong, which again, I don't know that that's a serious thing, but to make a video about it so that she could get more money yesterday.
That was today, right?
Or yesterday or today.
Yeah.
Girl, you should have been working on your report.
Right.
Not doing a video in the back of your car. You should have been using a calculator instead on that phone instead of holding it to make a video.
I want to talk about that video, but
also is an interesting choice too. But
right,
yes,
totally,
I want to talk about it too. I got words.
But back to
the actual report.
It seems to me that she is the choice of the Democratic Party establishment.
And they've not been right before. So I'm okay with not being on their side about these things. It's archaic. It's very white. It's very much limited on understanding and growing the party that speaks to people now. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
It is very much system rather than people, which is an interesting thing to keep your money in. You are more for system than you are for people. That DNC party, if they're not careful, and people are finding out about that, and it's not working, right?
And it never has. But the reason that Milwaukee versus Brookfield is important is that the DPW, the Democratic Party establishment, has always felt that a candidate from outside of Milwaukee or Madison is more viable.
I don't care what they think.
I know you don't.
They've been wrong so many times, and I've told you before. I'm like, they're wrong about this. I know. I'm like, watch. They're gonna and I was right every bloody time because their understanding is still based on 50, 60 years ago of their old experience of things or their view of things, which is problematic, right? It is still with this lens of a person of color or somebody from Madison or Milwaukee can't win. And that's their problem to figure out. If they can't bring up a viable candidate for themselves, and when they have them and see them as viable candidates, they're not going to win because you all don't believe with them anyways. You don't rock with them. So absolutely. If you're making that choice, they're not going to win.
Mm-hmm. So,
or you know what? Let it happen in the primary. Stay out of it. That's what elections are for. Let the primary happen.
Well, and the way it's shaking out is
the primary is going to happen, and you all backed the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Again, you were wrong. And even before this all happened, I still am not sure. I was not sure. I'm like, I don't know if she's going to come out of the primary. As much as DPW is backing, I'm like, that's not the look they think it is.
Mm-mm. She did not have a lot of traction.
No, and DPW is not the street cred they think they are for voters.
Neither is AFSCME, by the way. AFSCME endorsed her very early.
Yeah,
and gave a bunch of money.
Sure.
Because
the DPW...
AFSCME is very much party establishment.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're very much DPW. I'm like, so yeah. But you all don't think you have the street cred you think you do.
Right. The video you're referring to, though.
Yes, because that video. Oh, my goodness. Who gave her that advice?
I don't know. But basically what's happening is the Republicans have decided either that Francesca Hung is going to be the nominee. Mm-hmm. So they've got their sights set, they're putting their crosshairs on her, or they want Francesca Hung to be the nominee because they think they can beat a DSA candidate.
Yes, which is explain the DSA,
the Democratic Socialists of America.
Yeah.
So they are spending more than $2 million basically surfacing old things Francesca Hung has said,
or just using scare tactics. Right? They're using the language of fear to say if she wins, you all might get, everyone might get health care.
Or might defund the police. And I think that's because
they need tanks.
Right.
So again, they're using the language of fear.
Right. So Sarah Rodriguez took that as the Republicans are propping her up to make sure that she's the nominee. Francesca's the nominee.
Because they think they can beat her.
Right.
Which is why I have to win. Because I'm the one to beat Tom Tiffany.
Right.
And by the way, she does this in her car. She's not driving. Someone's driving her. Of course. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that she's somebody who is not driving safely.
That's what the kids do on TikTok? Is it
that's what I don't care what the kids on TikTok do. And she should not be doing that because it's a trend. I don't think it's what it was. I just think somebody thought it would work in that way. And instead, I'm like, you should have been using your phone as a calculator and checking them numbers before that report came out.
Yeah.
Whether that was today or yesterday, I don't know when she did it or filmed it. It doesn't matter. Whatever, you should be double checking those numbers. So when you have that amendment, it was correct. As an executive, look, my thing is how do you not get involved the minute? I will say that maybe she didn't know what her campaign manager was was doing because she was busy running and meeting donors, stuff like that. But as soon as you know what happened, how do you not say I want to read and know and add and give me a fancy calculator, so I can do these numbers by myself or somebody with me do them with me because I want to make sure it's correct because we can't have any more. We're a month away from the primary.
Yeah.
I can't have any more mistakes. How do you not take control of that? As somebody who has run or seen campaigns in California or volunteered in working campaigns since I was like a teenager, you screw up, someone's taking that work from you. And usually the candidate is sitting with you trying to figure out where the mess up was and how to fix it. Or the number 2 or number 3, you need to, I got a new number 2, get over here and you fix this. And we're sitting down here, we're double checking, blah, blah. You don't sleep until it's fixed. And then I get to see it. And if I see something wrong, you do it again.
Not to add on to this.
But we are.
But I just remembered this is another thing. In the January report, which had all the duplicate donations, there are 4 transactions, disbursements, payments.
Oh, yeah. The loan.
No. No.
What she gave a loan?
That was just a mistake, I think.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. It's just all these little mistakes.
I know.
I don't know that they're real.
The report seems to indicate that the campaign loaned somebody $150,000. I think that was supposed to be in the accrued.
I agree. I think that was a mistake, but I'm saying those kind of mistakes.
Yeah. The other thing that I haven't even mentioned to you is that there are 4 transactions for $8,500 each on one day for consulting services to somebody named unknown, whose address is unknown, unknown.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
You all have to give. And 4 of them.
On the same day,
which is the problem with the donor, the double or triplicate donors was that they were all on the same day, same address, same name, and blah blah. I'm hoping that they cleared that up and fixed that because that's a problem not to have that cleared up, but also for 4 separate. And here's the thing: I'm trying to remember what limits are for certain vendors, but I doubt that's what it is. I'm sure it's a mistake, but those mistakes can't be there, y'all.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: when it's the same day, they're all one right after the other. It's not random.
No, you can see that on just looking at this PDF.
Which is why I'm nobody double checked.
Right.
There was not an intern.
I apologize. That was actually on the July report.
Okay, that's still a problem.
Still a problem.
Again, no interns. Literally, my job sometimes was to read paper to make sure there was not duplicates for certain things. Literally, your job sometimes was to double check invite lists, donor lists, and double check to make sure there was not duplicates in the system. Because you didn't want to look bad. You didn't want to send messaging to the same person 3 times. That's how you lose that person. That you don't want to annoy them, right? You want to be able to send it right. You want to be not perfect, but do it right, kind of thing. And so, as interns, sometimes our busy work was just double checking, and then hand it to the next intern to also double check. And I get it. I was in Cali, so maybe it was a different machine there, but we literally, and then they would double check our work. We just did it. You don't believe us? No,
we don't.
We were interns too.
So it's kind of a mess.
It's an interesting, it's an interesting way to present yourself as you're running. That's my biggest thing. Right
before the election,
especially when you were lieutenant governor of the state, and you understand the machine in a way that a lot of folks don't, that anything that you don't do well or right, someone's going to make it a headline.
Mm-hmm.
It's always going to be a headline. And everything that you do is public. You have to file. Everything is open records. Everything is public. Well, you have to file all these things.
Yeah.
And she ran for lieutenant governor.
Yeah, that's a statewide race.
So she knows these things.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand the choices being made here. And maybe as lieutenant governor, she was not held the same level of scrutiny. I'm sure it wasn't.
Right.
But you do know this.
But you had to do the paperwork still.
Yeah. You know people are checking.
And her previous reports were right. I went back and looked.
Yeah.
They're, I mean, at least the balance is matched.
Well, and here's the thing, though. January might have been a mistake, like I said. How do you not make sure July isn't perfect?
Well,
that's what I'm saying. That's January. Okay, fine. Let's say it's somebody else's fault. But how do you not make July perfect? This was a week ago when you announced this, which means you probably knew a couple days, maybe a week before that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you not make July perfect?
It's possible that July is right. And that
it's an error 3 times?
Well, maybe.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe that's
no. Like it's making sure July is right means not the bottom line. I mean, every transaction to Colin, you know they're going to go through it.
Mm-hmm.
After what you've been through, you know that there's going to be scrutiny on everything that you file now.
Mm-hmm.
You know they're going to look at it,
mm-hmm.
and they're going to look at everybody else's too, because now there's a special lens to that whole filing for everybody, but especially you. You know that with or without a campaign manager. I get that you fired her, but with or without one, you know what is on you now, what everyone's looking for now, especially when you're the DNC's chosen one.
Right.
And how is the DNC like, girl, make sure you get it all right? How are they not helping to manage that? And then they can't. But like just saying, like, you all got to make sure this is right. Like every single candidate tell them, like, hey, you saw what just happened in that news? All of you make sure it's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you say.
Yeah, I don't know. And we will
continue to follow this.
We will.
Rob will also probably do a Facebook Live if he hears more.
If I get more information, I'll hop back on Facebook. Yeah. I did go on Facebook yesterday morning.
I got a text.
So check that out. As it has, I like explain a little bit more, but
yeah. And if what we're hoping for is that apparently there's another amendment that's dropping tonight, maybe tomorrow, and hopefully it clears it up.
And maybe they'll amend the January report and take out all those.
I don't know that
duplicate donations.
I mean, that's what they're amending. But they have to amend the July one though because it doesn't match.
Yeah,
they got a lot of amending to do.
They had tons of amending to do.
And that's the thing. That takes away from running.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why people don't get that. You're not new at this.
Right.
Wisconsin knows how to do this. Like, Wisconsin knows how to run.
Yeah.
I don't get this part. This isn't, I don't know.
And she's relatively new to politics, but...
No. But she's been in her executive role for 4 years now? Almost 4 years?
Well, she's been a career executive anyway. Like, she knows how to be an executive.
Absolutely.
In healthcare.
Okay. But she's been in an executive role for 4 years.
Right. This is only the third campaign.
I don't care.
But it's not Kara Spencer's third campaign.
It's not. It's an executive role.
Yeah.
You run at an executive level in the state.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Otherwise, you get out of the fields and make it so that someone can win.
Right.
And you back that up. And if you're not, and what it's saying is that you are not ready for an executive role. That you weren't trusted as lieutenant governor to be on some level an executive for the state in certain ways and places.
Yep.
And whether people are recognizing that, that's what it's telling me. That you were only in name an executive. You actually did not have an executive role. You were placated instead of trusted, which says something to me. If you all don't recognize that, I'll tell you. That means that you were asked to just show up and not pushed to lead. So how are you going to lead the state? That's what I'm saying. Like this is still a misstep. It's not like 6 months later. This is literally last week. You know what's expected of you.
Yeah.
How do you not show up and do your work and do the little work? Because it is little work. It sucks. This is hard work to do. The little boring stuff, not fancy, not amazing, not a video in the back of your car. No. But it's important work that means something.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it means something. So to be dismissive of that work drives me crazy and tells me a lot.
Yeah.
So let's move on.
All right, so we'll continue to follow that and just watch Madison365.org and our social channels to keep up with that story. Let's go now to who wants to go first? All right, Beth, what do you got?
I got to talk to Ray Kumapai, who's the president of the African Association of Madison, about Africa Fest, which will take place on August 16th or 15th and 16th. It's their first year doing an official 2-day event, so they're super excited about that. It's the 26th annual one, and I feel like they're going to have a comeback because last year it got rained out mostly, so that was kind of a bummer. And then also it's going to be at McPike Park in Madison over on Ingersoll Street. So it should be a good time. Saturday, it's 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And then Sunday, it's 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So there's going to be a run walk on Saturday, a parade of nations where they carry every single flag from the 54 countries of Africa, which Ray said was the best part. There's also going to be a tent that sounded really awesome, put on by the African Women's Association. And each year they choose a different theme for educational theme, and this year it's the fabric of Africa. So Ray also said if you attend the festival, you have to go there, and they'll walk through, tell you where all these fabrics come from and their importance and their design. And yeah, it just sounds like a really great time. There'll also be vendors and food and live performances as well as music. But yeah, and then Sunday is going to be a little bit more abbreviated because it's much shorter, but sounds like a great time.
Yeah, it always is. The Parade of Nations is the very, very coolest part, unquestionably, every year. And like you said, that got rained out last year, so hoping for sunny skies this year. Omar, you were out early Wednesday, right?
Yes.
At a student walkout kind of situation.
I wouldn't say walkout.
Walkout's not quite the right word. It was a demonstration of sorts.
It was a demonstration. It was a march for National Day of Social Action on Wednesday. MMSD's Freedom School, which is in its second year now. It's kind of a 6-week-long summer program, and near the end, the students kind of march through, organize, kind of, I would say like a mock protest. I don't.
Well, just getting used to the idea of social action.
Well, it's organizing and social action, which is kind of core.
What age group are these students?
All throughout elementary school. I think the oldest looked like middle school, but I was entirely
sure. So younger kids.
It could have just been a really tall child. So that happens. I was a tall child, and then I stopped.
I was never a tall child.
I've been this tall since 6th grade.
I've been this tall since 8th grade.
And that was a magical time for you, Rob, when you were taller than everybody else in your class.
I wasn't even. I was like normal size for a day, and then I caught up to everybody else, and then everybody else kept growing, and I didn't. Anyway, back to Freedom School.
It happens.
That we've unpacked Rob's trauma about his height.
Well, when your younger brother's 6'4", it doesn't help. So
that's a different episode.
Yeah.
So they had this performance. They're doing poems. It was centered on youth mental health and well-being. So they really wanted to focus on that, and they gave performances before they started marching where everything ended with the tag, "The children are well." That's inspired by the Children's Defense Fund founder, the people who organized the actual Freedom School, Marian Wright Edelman, who founded it in 1973, who said the best way to know if the community is doing well is how the children are doing. So they wanted to focus on that. And when they started marching, that was a lot of fun. There was this, I don't think it was a student. I think it was one of the teacher's daughters. She was running around with a foam finger. She was trying to keep up with the crowd. She really wanted to be involved. So every time she fell behind, she started running and then screaming and holding out the one. It was adorable. I enjoyed it.
I love it. Thank you for going to that, Omar, and thanks for the reporting. Now we turn over to our senior insect correspondent, Miles Felix. The second week in a row, we're talking entomology, but this was actually a bit more concerning than the midges and gnats and stuff we talked about last week, right?
Yeah, so last week was a bit of a message of like, hey, let's lay off on these insects. You know, they actually provide good things for the environment. And this one, I think we can all join arms against our hate for ticks, but this will actually increase our hate, actually. there is a new prevalence of a species of tick called the Lone Star tick, and it's popping up in Wisconsin. And the reason why this is so scary is if you were to be bitten by this tick, gosh forbid, you could have the chance of developing a red meat allergy due to AGS syndrome, and that would be a really, really bad thing. I talked to a professor of entomology, Dr. Adela Olivia Chavez, and she basically explained it to me because we're seeing warmer temperatures because of climate change, and because this tick that was primarily on the East Coast and also just a little bit of the Midwest. Its original population line stopped right about Illinois or very, very southern Michigan. Because we're seeing warmer temperatures, it's been able to expand its population. It's been able to pop back up in different parts of the East Coast that were originally too cold for it to survive during the winter. And now the same thing is happening in Wisconsin. So during the summer, often what we're seeing is that migrating birds that are coming from the south are coming back up to the north, and these tick, whether it be in baby or larvae form, are attaching onto these birds. And then in summertime, the birds get here, the ticks drop off, and they end up in your backyard. So you got to be careful, people.
Yeah.
A red meat allergy would, the silver lining be that would be good for heart health, but I think that would be a terrible way to live.
I think so. And, the CDC does report there's an estimate of probably about a little bit over 100,000 cases that are reported between 2010 and 2022, but they have another estimate that initially thinks that in that time period there were probably upward cases of over 400,000 across the United States. And the scary thing about this tick is it's really, really aggressive. It's not similar to what we usually see out of deer ticks, commonly found in Wisconsin. They sit in tall grasses, and they just happen to latch onto you because they usually have their arms up, and they will just end up grazing up against your pant leg or your arms. These ticks, the Lone Star ticks, will actually seek you out. They're aggressive, they want to bite you, and they're tinier than other ticks, so they're harder to identify.
I feel like this is the cold open of a horror movie, the beginning of the movie is the podcast are talking about the danger of this tick, and they're coming after us.
Yeah, and we were talking about this a little bit before, but just look and read the story at your own risk, because when you actually see this tick, your hatred for them will continue to grow. Yeah.
You sent me the picture to go with the story, and I said I think we need a trigger warning on that.
Yeah.
Blur it, click here to see the tick. But
they're not cute. They're ugly. They're scary, and the best way to really avoid any of this happening, though, is as any good Wisconsinite, you're enjoying a nice summer. You're trying to be outside. Just make sure you're wearing light colored clothes. If you can, wear high socks, and also just apply DEET to the outside of your clothes or on your skin in areas such as your lower leg or your arms, and that'll probably prevent any situations where
the light colored clothing is not that they aren't attracted to light colored clothing; it's that you can see them when they're on you.
Correct. Yeah. If you were to go
flick them off with all your anger and light.
Exactly. Yeah. Just like anybody's told as a kid, you have to do a tick check, but it'll make it 100% easier, and you'll avoid any of this scary red meat allergy situation if you just wear, a white shirt if you're going to go hiking or you're going to be in the outdoors. It'll save you a lot of trouble, I think.
All right. Thank you for that, Miles. Thank you for that horrifying report.
Now I'm going to have bad dreams.
All right, Camille. You had I love this. You brought this idea to us. I loved it, and I'm very happy that you're able to put this story together. But tell us about where do the teens go now?
Yeah, I talked to teens around Madison about where they were going during the summer because they're out of school, so they have to find places to go, obviously. And
the mall doesn't want them, right? That was kind of the impetus for the story, is that you're not allowed in the mall if you're a teenager anymore without a parent or whatever. Yeah. So what did you find?
Yeah, that was the start of this story, was that teens are not allowed to go into the mall past 4 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. I think originally it was just past 4 p.m. at all. But clearly the mall is a spot for teens to go. And so once they're kicked out, this is it's an important place for them to go and not be on the streets.
Yeah.
I also when looking further into this, Goodman Pool kicked out a lot of unaccompanied minors. They have new rules. Mm-hmm. And when I was also researching this, the alder for downtown, the alderman, was suggesting possibly putting a curfew on downtown for teenagers. So when I talked to teens, they felt very unwelcomed in the city. They felt like they didn't have places to go. And a lot of the reasons for these curfews that were cited were like teenagers are getting into all these fights. And one of the people that I talked to, Jada, mentioned that kicking teenagers out of these places are not going to stop fights. It's just going to make fights happen in sneakier places and more discreet places, which can get more dangerous.
Right, you're just going to move them. You're not going to...
Yeah, it's not... Kicking teenagers out is not getting to the root of the problem of why.
So is there... did you find anything positive? Any place like, actually, we do go to this place?
One of the guys that I talked to, he mentions going to the park, but that also has a curfew on it. And when I was looking into it, MSCR has free clubs for high schoolers.
Okay.
But beyond that, there's not a whole lot of places that teenagers are really looking forward to going.
Well, right, you got to have a place that's safe, but also like attractive, like that is a place to hang, and it isn't necessarily like programmed, scheduled.
Yeah,
program, right. Like,
they're not looking for a school.
Right, exactly. They're looking to hang with their friends in a way that's in a place that's safe and air conditioned, ideally.
Yes,
right.
The heat and the smoke of today.
Yeah, right. So there's not a really good answer right now.
Yeah, the teens suggested spots for them. They mentioned having more skate parks, making like a summer camp for kids where they go on field trips. One of my favorite idea that they suggested was having like a kids club, which is like a club for kids, like without alcohol, but a place for them to listen to music and hang out and dance and play arcade games.
Well, there's Fitchburg's building a teen center. Is there anything analogous in Madison? I don't think so.
I don't know if we have a teen. There's community centers,
right,
but I don't know if there's a specific spot for teenagers in Madison.
All right, so it's a tough one, right? I mean,
yeah.
But really appreciate you looking into it.
Yeah.
Set the table, maybe get some conversation started. All right, thank you, Camille. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, Myra McNair will be here. And we're back, and joining us now, the founder of Anisa's Family Therapy, Myra McNair. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing wonderful. Thanks for welcome back to the show. Thank you again for joining us. And the reason we're talking today is that Anisa's Family Therapy is turning 10 years old. Is that right?
Yes, and we are so excited about it.
It's been so fun because we are just Madison 365 is just approaching 11 years. So there's a handful of organizations. In fact, last week on the show we had Anthony Cooper talking about the 10th anniversary focus interruption. So that was just a 2016-17 seems to have been just a time when things were happening.
Yes.
And we were among it, and you were among it, and it's exciting to kind of all these organizations we've grown up with to kind of check in at this sort of 10-year mark.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about, tell me the kind of the origin story, first of all, of Anisa's Family Therapy, which I'm sure you've told 1,000 times, but just remind us.
Yeah. No, so I started in 2016, started very, very small, just a private practice, just with myself. And I think it was like by the end of the year, I had 2 people joining my first county contract. And, we just continued to grow and grow and grow into, a much, much bigger clinic than I ever even had dreamed of. So it's been a beautiful journey.
And was there had you been working at a different place as a therapist before that? So what was the impetus to go out on your own even?
Yeah. I really just saw a gap in services, right?
Mm.
In our community for Black and brown people,
Yeah.
and and for all socioeconomic statuses, right? Because I think at my last clinic, we were really, really good at reaching people who are like on Medicaid or like their insurance was maybe unstable, but then what about people who are, Black and brown professionals here? And, there wasn't really a place for people to go. And I think, when I really realized, I was like, yes, this is definitely a thing that needs to happen here in Madison and Dane County, is when I started even getting clients that were traveling from Janesville to come up and see me. And
Wow.
we're like paying out of pocket, not even using insurance, because at that time I didn't take insurance yet. And so that really showed me that the need, not just even in Madison, but in our state and in other cities within Wisconsin, it's a need, and there's definitely a gap. So I think I got full really fast, and I knew I was on the right track.
Yeah, right. And that's been kind of your watchword is the whole time is cultural competence, right? Like,
Yes.
can you talk a little bit about that? Why that's important and how you achieve that sort of level of
Yeah.
competence
Yeah.
in culturally?
Yeah. I mean, I think, they've done a lot of research about people like picking different healthcare providers, and you want to find someone who looks like you. But I think also, it goes a little deeper than that, and you don't want to always explain the nuances when it comes to culture. And I think that is really important, because when you're coming in, you're talking about like your whole family, right? Your community, all the different things that affect your life and your mental health. And it's important for someone to kind of get those nuances. Otherwise, you spend a lot of time educating your provider and you're paying them
Yeah,
for
I'm not
that
paying you
time.
to teach you about Black culture.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Right. And then at what point did you start? Because you also do like you offer Spanish language therapy. Do you offer
Oh yeah,
do you have
we
bilingual
have
people?
yeah, we have, and I think too, right? There are things like, even with just that language, right? It's not just it's language is important, but also the culture. So like having someone who is also bilingual but bicultural, right? Is really important, because you could have someone who is Spanish speaking, and they learn the language in school, but they don't understand the cultural aspects around that.
Sure. So what's the status now? How many people do you have? You have 2 clinics now, right? 2 locations?
Yeah. So we started a nonprofit, a sister arm of Anisa's therapy. It's called Anisa's Foundation. We kept the Anisas in there so people know, like, hey, it's still us. But it is a nonprofit. So we received our 501c3 last year, and then we launched it this year. We actually moved some employees over
Oh, cool.
from Anisa's therapy over to our nonprofit. And that's all of our nonprofit work we were doing before is actually being under the umbrella of the foundation now.
Okay. So that's what I was gonna say. Because you've had some things where you've had like
Yes.
drop-in clinics that are free. You've had you've been done. You have therapists at Mount Zion Church, right? Is that
Yes.
which is kind of their nonprofit work? So why? I mean, you talk about the need, right? I mean,
Yeah.
why did you need a separate 501c3 for that?
It's we can't, the way healthcare is, it's very hard to fund it. A ton of free work for our community, which we enjoy and we love. Like, we did a lot of strategic planning, probably about 3 years ago, and we hired a consultant, and it was very clear that our clinicians and our case managers, all the people that work here, are very passionate about community work. So that was very clear in our strategic planning. But we also know that we can't fund that, right? That we can't afford, as a for-profit, to continue to fund all of that work. And so that is really where it comes from, is where we're hoping, as much as we have given to the community, that the community also can give to us to be able to continue that work that we do.
So you're taking donations and like seeking grant funding, that kind of thing?
Yes. Yep.
Fantastic. And so you have an event coming up in September to commemorate the 10th anniversary. Tell folks
Yes.
about that. Is it also like a fundraiser kind of situation?
Yes. So it will be a fundraiser for the foundation specifically.
Okay.
And some of the programs that are underneath our foundation is like you mentioned, the drop-in clinic, but we also have an in-home mental health program where kids that are involved in the CPS and youth justice system, their families, not just the kiddos, but their families get referred to that program. And we're working with kids in the community, which is like, again, a thing that insurance would not like to fund, right? Going in people's homes, doing therapy, like very non-traditional work, having wraparound care, case management for the kiddos and the parents. We have a parenting peer program, and then we also have a parenting mentoring and education program that are all under the foundation. And starting next year, we will also be providing intensive supervision for youth as well in 2027, starting in January. So
what does intensive supervision look like? I'm sorry.
It's really with kids that are, again, youth justice, court ordered.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of justice work happening, a lot of prevention from kids getting back into systems, prevention of families being separated, keeping, really, really working with the family unit so kiddos don't get back into the, CPS system. So it's really great work that's happening in our foundation. Sure. But yeah, we are having that luncheon to really announce the foundation, to celebrate 10 years of service to our community. So it'll be a celebration and also a fundraiser.
What is there anything specific you can name that you've learned over these last 10 years?
Oh my goodness. Oh, there's so much. That's such a great question. I feel like I've learned so much more about our community. And I've learned so much, probably a little bit too much more than I would ever imagine, around systems and healthcare and mental health services and the lack of accessibility for mental health care. How hard it is to work with insurance companies, things like that I think a lot of people don't know and understand, that happens in the administrative part of healthcare and running a clinic. But then I've also seen really beautiful things, right? And I definitely feel like the need is just it's continual, right? And we see it in bigger systems that play out that aren't a part of mental health, right? Like in the political scene and things like that really affect people in their mental health. So it's been
Yeah, that leads nicely into my next question, which is how have you seen an evolution or a change at all in sort of the primary mental health needs in the community over these 10 years? Or is it all just everybody just needs therapy all the time?
It's definitely increased. I remember when I received my master's, and the person who ran at the time was Peter Fabian from Edgewood College. And he got up and he told our class, if you're looking to be a therapist in Madison, good luck, because we have so many therapists in Madison and there's not the need here.
Interesting.
And that he was so wrong. He was so wrong. There's not enough. There's not enough therapists. The need is so big. I would say probably when I first got out of school, it was okay to hold on to people for a long time. And now I feel like therapists do feel that kind of pressure to move people along. Like, if you're okay, let's not see each other every week, because there's people that also need to get in, right? And that's a different trend in mental health care.
I know one of the challenges, especially among communities of color, has been sort of a stigma around therapy, around mental health, around admitting that you need mental health assistance or whatever, and that's obviously not just in communities of color, but that's kind of everywhere. There's kind of a stigma. Has that lessened a little bit, such that people are more willing to join to do therapy, and therefore increasing the demand?
Absolutely.
Which is good,
I
right?
think
That's a good.
Oh, it's very good. It's
Mhm.
very good because when you think about, the humanity, right? And that, I always say, like, with Black people, historically, we've always had this thing, like, we've survived so much, we're so strong,
Mm.
right? That has been kind of like this belief that I think we hold within our community,
Mhm.
and I think there's parts of that is like, yes, we are very resilient, but then there are parts that of that truth that, doesn't it's not always true, right? It's not the full truth because there eh, we are human just like everyone else,
Mhm.
and trauma, you know, whether it happens to anyone who no matter what color, trauma does what trauma does, right,
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
people, and it affects your mental health. And
Mhm.
so, I think it is wonderful that that stigma is being lifted because we can't continue to hold this generationally, all of the trauma, all of the pain, and we don't want to continue to pass that down, right? And that it is okay to get help. But I think the increase in having Black and brown providers has helped Black and brown people to get services
Oh,
as well too. It feels safer, right? It
sure,
feels more
sure.
safe. It
Mhm.
feels like again, like talking about bringing your authentic self to the therapy room. Um, it just makes a huge difference.
Yeah, for sure. What do you see for the next 10 years?
Oh my goodness. I definitely see some more expansion. We have some clinicians that are in Milwaukee that work for us. I would
Mm.
love to see Anisa's clinic in Milwaukee. We are right now also piloting some a very small clinic. We're piloting it that's not in Wisconsin just to kind of see what we can do.
Mhm.
But I think the need right now, of course, we know in Wisconsin, it's here, but I think it's everywhere, and it's everywhere right now in the United States.
Yeah.
We need more services. We need better care. Um, it's yeah, we need diversity in the field. It's one thing that I am really proud of that Anissa's has done is we've helped educate so many people, and we've helped, to get their master's degree to become a therapist. We are a clinical site for a lot of different colleges throughout the Midwest that send their interns here. And so that's one really big thing that I am proud of. But also we have encouraged some of our employees that come in as case managers to get their master's degrees, and they are therapists. And so we've also have a very strong grow your own, which takes a lot of time and a lot of energy. But I think that has also helped expand the mental health field here in Madison.
And to diversify, right? Because the interns
Yes.
that are coming to you are largely from those marginalized communities, from those communities of
Yes.
color, who will then create a more diverse sort of
Yes.
population of therapists, right?
Yes.
So there's
Mhm.
more. So it's just kind of perpetuating and it's kind of growing in a sort of that's fantastic. How can folks support the foundation?
Yes. Well, they can come to the luncheon. That's one really fun thing that they can do.
Hmm.
And then you can find it on our website at anisastherapycenter.com.
Okay.
So that's one way. And then also you can email us at sponsors at anisasfoundation.org. Email us if you would like to donate, if you would like to sponsor. Um, that is another way that you can
Hmm.
support us. And then when we do have events or conferences, if you ever want to volunteer, that would also be lovely too. I know we get a lot of requests for volunteers, but because of the nature of what we do and the confidentiality,
Right.
it's hard to get volunteers for day to day. But
Right. Right.
those are ways
For
that
those events, yeah.
you can support us.
All right, we'll put that email address and the link in the show notes, and so watch for that. Myra McNair, thanks so much. Congratulations on 10 years, and best of luck going
Thank you.
forward.
All right. Thank you so much.
And we're back, and we're going to move right into our question.
Which is?
Confess your most recent main character moment, delusional or real.
I don't like when a question starts with the word confess.
And you shouldn't. But what moment the last couple weeks, last time you remember it, that you were like, I'm the main character in this, whether it was actually real or like, oh no, that later you realized was completely delusional, but you're going to sit in it.
Is it a confession if I just truly believe that I am the main character the whole time?
I figured for you, you'd be like,
I am an egotistical monster.
I have a big ego too. Like I can't fit through the door sometimes. Like, and so I'm like, I always think I'm the main character. What do you mean? I don't have a moment.
People exist.
But I mean, and most of the time it's delusional, but I'm fine with that delusion.
Oh yeah, delusion is healthy.
Is there a specific context in which you're like, yeah, I'm it?
Well, every day on the road.
I was going to say when I'm driving, I'm like, yeah, driving. Obviously, all those people are following me because I'm going so I'm leading them through. No,
all the drivers in Madison are bad because they learned how to drive in Madison, and they don't drive well also because they're not the main characters.
I see some people who are
they're
agreeing with you on that.
NPCs driving in cars made to delay all of my days and make me late for everything.
Well, for a storyline, like that, like without them.
It's part of
your delusion.
It's part of the story arc.
Yeah, your story arc includes them driving bad.
Wait, I was gonna say, so if we're defining like what a main character moment is, do you have like a textbook definition of what that is? I think Omar, you actually pointed out quite well. It's when you think you're surrounded by a bunch of robots or NPCs, right? You're the only one with like consciousness, right? Like, is that the idea? Or
absolutely,
yeah, you're the only one. Like, do you remember when you were a little kid and you thought the sun was following you? Some of you grew out of that.
No,
some of us didn't.
The world revolves around you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you mine as an example.
Rob has a good one, I'm sure.
Yeah, this past weekend, our son and I were kayaking on the Kickapoo River from Ontario, Wisconsin.
Yeah, they go all the way down for a whole day.
Lafarge, which is about 22 miles over the course of 2 days, and
would never.
And in the first leg of that, there's always a bunch of people because they rent canoes in Ontario or tubes, and they go floating, they go tubing, and they just float down the river with their beers and their whatever. And it's the entire first day I was like, you people don't know what you're doing. And, like they've got a little like all their tubes like tied together with the cooler in it, and they're drinking and everything, and we got our backpacks, and our freeze dried chili mac backpacking food, and I was just like, get out of my way. You floating down the river people. We're doing this for real. We're roughing it. We're surviving in the wilderness. And then the second day, they all get out like 10 miles down the river, and we kept going. So the second day is much, much more calm and secluded.
I think when you go camping, you often have main character energy.
I think you should when you're going camping, though.
I think anything you do,
it's your forest.
This is your time to shine.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Although I did, I made use of charcloth for only the second time, which Chris Kilgore from Color in the Outdoors taught me how to make charcloth earlier this year.
What is charcloth?
You have to explain. Some of us don't go.
It's like charcoal, but it's made out of cotton. I basically cut up an old pair of blue jeans and heated it in an oxygen deprived environment, so it becomes this like black little piece of paper thin cloth, and you put a spark on it, and it immediately begins to glow with an ember, and then you just blow on it, and that's how you start a fire without a match.
Again, that is main character energy. Like the fact that you're like, I am going to take this material.
I have to do this
instead of just buying charcoal
or bringing a lighter.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you insist on starting fires with stick and a rock. When you could,
with
you literally could bring a lighter.
I mean, if I could do that, I would.
Yeah. That's main character entry.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, who's next?
I think I have like two, but my first one is kind of similar to driving, but I bike everywhere, and I would say
absolutely.
single time I pass someone on a B-cycle on my clunker of a mountain bike that has winter spikes in it still, I'm like, what are you doing with your like come on.
Not a real bike.
Get on the right side, on your left, move over, like you don't know what you're doing. And
you're new here. You don't even have your own bike.
Exactly. I'm like, you have to rent a bike. Like, no. I'm on my second bike of the summer. Like, let's move it on. Like,
that is main character. Yeah, absolutely. And anybody
like
on a
sweating. I'm like, no, this is easy. Like, it's worth it. I'm like drenched in sweat. It's so bad. It's like, and I had like a 13-mile commute from like my one job to the other job.
Oh, wow.
By the end, I'm like drenched. I'm like, hi guys. Like, are you okay? I'm like, no.
But also,
but I'm faster than them.
Yeah. All right.
I have.
I was gonna say a little callback though. Beth did have a bike that would have been easier to pass people on.
Yeah, I did have a really nice single-speed steel frame bike that got stolen from my porch.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was tragic, and I had to pull out my winterized one, and I've just been like, I'm like,
the
hey,
fact that you have more than one bike, main character energy.
Thank you.
You have another one?
I did have another one. I did have a bed bug scare at my apartment.
Oh, no.
And I felt like, I got bed bugs. And then I was like, my roommates were like, someone has to move the couch. And I was like, don't worry. I got it. So I got home from work and like single-handedly moved a couch down like third-story house on Mifflin. So the stairs are like, it's like a zag every like every like 3 stairs. And I did it. My roommate's like, you did that by yourself? I was like, yeah. I wasn't going to wait for you or the bed bugs. Like, we got to get this moving. But I also, like, we had an inspector come and I don't even think we actually have bed bugs. So it was like all for naught.
So you moved definitely.
Yeah.
Again, delusional or not.
It was delusional, yeah.
I would also say having 3 answers as main character.
Why, thank you.
Jealous. You're a little
I'll have 4 next time.
Yeah. I'll one up you.
I think I got 2. I don't know if these necessarily qualify in the same area as you guys, but I think at least I helped maybe somebody else achieve their main character kind of energy, but I was also sharing in that. So one, I'm a runner, so both these instances related to that, and this was Tuesday, and I was running on Southwest Bike Path. It was a little bit past 8:30, so the sun was set, and as you know, it's shaded path, so it's pretty dark. And I was doing a workout, so I was a little bit out of breath, and I was running past like a couple, and I think they were walking their dog. And it was just us and them. We were going opposite direction. Opposite directions, so we're coming towards each other. And as I'm probably about, let's say like, I don't know, 150 feet away, I hear her sneeze. She sneezes. He doesn't say anything. Doesn't say bless you or anything like that. Just keep on walking. But she's having a sneeze attack. I can see it coming, She's like, she sneezes. And right as it happens, I'm like, but I go, bless you. And she goes, thanks. and then she taps who I assume her boyfriend. And she was like, you know what I mean? She's like, come on,
You're like, and I know.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I know.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
main character energy.
It's cool. I got you.
I got it for you. If you can't do it, I'll do it.
No worries.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, right.
Also, a better man.
And I'm gonna keep on running, Yeah.
But you keep walking your dog.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Other one. This is the morning of 4th of July. And I was running the Lake Monona loop.
Oh wow.
But again, there was this guy, and he and I he's probably a little bit older than me, but he was just like, you could just tell when somebody's just a beast, right?
Yeah.
He had the running glasses. He was like a built guy, whatever. And we were both, again, running opposite directions. And we passed each other probably when I was about like 5 miles in. And so he was coming the other direction. So I assume he was about the same.
Yeah.
And then I make it to the end where I'm like running on the other side of the lake. And wouldn't you believe it, the same guy passes by again, which means he did the exact same loop, and we were doing it together, basically, just doing the opposite way.
Ways, yeah.
And we're kind of like looking at each other, you're like, I recognize you, you know what I mean? Like, what's up? And he goes, my man, like, you got this. And I was like, yes. I was like, yes, I do. That's right, I do.
You're like, oh,
yeah,
I do got it. I don't know which one of us was a supporting character, but I feel that might be you.
Yeah. I mean, he was really cool because, I mean, like, he was also doing it. So, I mean, I think I also made him, because he was like cheesing, he was smiling, but yeah, both those I felt pretty good, and hopefully I made somebody else feel pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I feel like mine is not as strong as you guys', but I woke up really early today, which I feel like was really cool of me for a meeting.
That's main character energy. Like,
Thank
that's
you.
cool. That's good of me. Like, look at me.
It was 7 a.m. It wasn't
Yeah.
early, but earlier than I've woken up all summer. And
She's like, you're
and
welcome.
I drove on the Beltline, and the sky is orange. And there's like the silhouettes, and there wasn't a lot of people. And I got into the parking lot, and there was like nobody here. And I was like,
oh, this is for me. You're
yeah,
like,
this
that's
is today.
that's
This
main
morning was
character-
mine, actually.
That's main character energy.
That's my
Absolutely.
main character moment.
I feel like the work you do is also kind of main character energy though.
Yeah.
Your second your second
Yeah.
job.
What's the work you
Right.
do? What's your second job? You got to
Oh, my
explain.
second job. So my second job is my friend's mom's friend's husband owns a bunch of
A lot of people involved here.
Think about that.
there's a connection, but owns a bunch of land
Mhm.
out like I don't know. He lives like out in the country, and he just has like 200 acres or something, and he just like pays me to pull invasives. He has like
Oh, wow.
a bunch of like he rents part of his land out for farming or renting for farming, but the rest of it he just keeps his forest. And he's like, go. Like, I barely even see him. He's like, just go and I'll leave you money under the porch.
That is absolutely main
awesome.
character energy. What do you mean there's your money on the porch? It's like, it's a catch right there. Don't say who it is because people won't take your money. But what? Yes, that is main character energy. Absolutely. And Omar again is upset that y'all had like a couple and he only had like one.
I'll stick with the one because as the main,
main character, I don't need more
really need to
than
keep
one.
stating my case.
As the main character, you don't need more than one.
And that ego right there. Did you see that? That's a main character.
Main character personality.
No, it was still just one.
All right. From the main character studio, thanks for listening to 365 Amplified. We'll see you all again next week. 365 Amplified is produced and edited by me, Rob Chappell, and is a production of 365 Media Foundation, a nonprofit, local, independent media organization in Madison, Wisconsin. Wherever you're listening to this right now, hit the subscribe or follow button to get new episodes every Friday. And between episodes, get your latest news at madison365.org and follow us on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Threads. Wherever you get your news, we'll be there.